crayfisher John Reeder has survived just about everything the sea and the land has thrown at him. From upheaval in crayfish management to the 2016 earthquake that dramatically changed the Kaikoura coastline where he and his family live. Running their fishing operations from Waipapa Bay, the family also have a hill country farm, a roadside cafe and a Field of Dreams polo ground.
The crayfish setup is we operate 2 boats from the bay here. The area is called Cray 5. We have quota for Cray 5. The total quota for the area is 350 tonne a year to be caught. I was lucky enough to get in the industry when I was 20 years old. Back then there weren't any quotas. Now we've got 24 fishermen roughly in the industry, and where we had 160 and we were landing 650 tonne a year pre-1987. Since the cuts we're only landing 350 tonne a year now, and that's been for 34 years, so that's how long the quotas have been in, and they definitely they're working really well. The crays are brought in every day live, and we put them into our factory here, which is we have live tanks, and the crays are kept alive, and normally pickups the next day. November 2016, when we had the earthquake here, we were very worried for the industry, obviously, because we had 60 kilometres of coastline that had lifted out of the water. We knew how bad it was. We could see the powers and whatnot high and dry. Big effort initially to get them back in the water, and we were lucky enough that the Ministry of Fisheries let us do a survey within the first, I think, 2 or 3 weeks of the earthquake to just get a profile of the fishery. Did we have a resource still out there? We had observers on board came out, and we did a week's fishing, and it proved that the fishery was still viable. It was still there. We hadn't been devastated like we thought we had of. I got a fair idea because the earthquake was at midnight. A lot of those crays actually walked back off the reef into the water. They were certainly alive when they came up. Some of them were still around in the mornings, but I know particularly in our bay, where I'd be looking to see thousands out of the water, there wasn't. So I knew myself they'd walk back in. Yeah, so we dodged the bullet. The industry dodged the bullet in Cray 5.
We're about half an hour north of Kaikoura. I'm on the south side of the Clarence Valley. We got the mountains on one side, the sea right there, and then the river just as close. There's about 250 hectares on this side of the road, which is nice flat plateaus of about 90 hectares, and then there's a bit of forestry. And then on the other side of the road where the polo field is, there's about 350 hectares, but it's mainly in forest, so yeah, it's all pine trees, but it's great wintering country. We grew up here, me, Jack and Zoe, and farm's always been a big part of it, but it runs behind the calf and the fishing. Like the fishing's our bread and butter, so the farm sort of run up easy care, so we can drop everything and go off to the fishing if we have to, because that's, like I said, our bread and butter. So we've just got cattle here. I've always had a passion for breeding, whether it's horses and polo ponies, which we do, and cattle, and just in the genetics and that sort of thing. So for us, I've started breeding Speckle Park, and I've just got into Angus as well, and that sort of fits our build with being able to, I feel, a lot more easy care than the sheep and stuff like that, and not as time consuming, and also with having a passion for loving breeding, it sort of works well for us. We can use these ones to put as recips and put embryos in. All going well, so that'll be good. Dad likes to keep his hand in it, but he's sort of handing things over now, and we're sort of starting up. I've got the calf and sort of diversified out that by myself, and then Zoe, she's just finished uni now, then she's going to come back and help out with the breeding and do a bit of polo. Then Jack, he's gone out on his own and gone fishing, but we also can come back and help out with the mainstay under the Reeder umbrella, which is really cool. Here at Karaka Lobster, we're very lucky with us being a fishing family. We've got the boats and that in our own LFR, so we're able to go out and catch the crays ourselves, bring them back, keep them in our live tanks, so then as the shop needs them, we just cook them then. So everything here is freshly cooked, which works well because we're trying to deliver a premium product where people can experience fresh crayfish. The cafe is family run, and I'm very lucky with Zoe and Mum, they're there, and we've got a couple of ladies that live up the road that also work in there, which is cool. And then it's sort of a close-knit thing, and We get a lot of ferry traffic, and I mean, with COVID and that, obviously there's none of the overseas tourists going around, so it's all just been Kiwis travelling. But that has been really good, you know. It's amazing how many tourists, you know, from New Zealand get out and travel the country themselves. So certainly we knew when Auckland was in lockdown, that certainly slowed, you know, things up. Yeah, they're a huge part of getting out and helping, you know, places in New Zealand. So where we are now is down in the forestry across the road, and it was just a pine forest down here. And then with the Kaikoura earthquake, they had all the slips right up the coastline, and they needed somewhere to dump all the slip material. And then so we said to them, well, we were probably the closest place where they could get to that could get consented for them to be able to dump slip material. And we said, well, if you guys clear the trees, and you can dump as much as you want, and if you could leave us a polo field, pending you get enough fill, yeah, that was fine, dump ahead. So it was sort of a win-win for both people. We tried couch. It hadn't been done in the South Island, but it also meant that we didn't have to truck a whole lot of topsoil in, because couch will just grow on straight sand. So they put all the waste fill down, levelled that out, and then they put 1/2 metre of just beach sand on top of it, and then from that sewed the couch on. I still play on the weekends and love it to bits, but Zoe's she's just finished uni and she's about to head overseas, and she's right into it. And we've started breeding our own, which is really cool. Including broodmares and that, there's probably about 40 horses on the place. I think we'll definitely hold polo tournaments and that here, but I think it could be, we could even do more. Like, it's such a big area and it's flat, and you could do a lot more with it. I don't know whether that would lead on to doing like major events here or something, but I know that's certainly a dream and would like to, but yeah, we'll see where it takes us.